Well, it has arrived. The most expensive part of this trailer build is all the aluminum to cover up the outside of the trailer. I got checker plate, and then I got 5x10 sheets of just flat finish. Time to start prepping the trailer for this new aluminum skin. It's gonna look sweet. So I pulled the trailer in during our heat wave that we had last week. 40 degrees in June is unheard of this area. So it worked great because there's low humidity, so I was able to open everything up and let everything dry out from the winter time. There's a little bit of water damage here, a little bit there, but now it's dried out. I'm not too concerned about it. My plan is probably go with a smaller water tank. Worked for last year, but probably should go with a smaller one. As you can see, why I'm doing the aluminum skin is this stuff broke apart. So what I'm gonna do is sand all this stuff down, maybe fill it with some wood filler or something, because aluminum checker plate's going over top of it. So if you're gonna do the Raptor liner, the instructions I were given was just sand and fill with plastic wood filler, but apparently you want to do an epoxy primer. This is cheaper than aluminum by far. Looks kind of nice too when it's not cracked, but yeah, you got to do a epoxy primer to prevent all this from happening. It is what it is. I learned, right? It made it last year pretty good, so mistakes, everyone makes mistakes, you got to learn from them. But yeah, we're gonna do aluminum skin, so we'll be able to figure out how we're gonna do all this sealing and stuff. I think I'm just gonna use some rubber sealing. Maybe build a small lip here or something, I don't know, but the hurricane hinge will come about 1 inch off of here. So what we're gonna start doing is we're gonna start taking off all of our aluminum trim, our lights, take out our windows, take off our door, which I sanded down where it was hitting. I'll finish it up with some aluminum polish, but now it closes way nicer. But I left all the windows open to air it out in here. It smells really nice. And yeah, we'll get started on this. This is finally get started on fixing up the trailer. I'm gonna completely rebuild this top hatch. Instead of wood here, it's all gonna be aluminum square tubing. Now that I have an aluminum welder and I can practice aluminum welding, that way we'll have it seal up. This piece is going to come all the way to the edge here and overlap. That's what that checker plate's for. It's going to come over top, so that way the water can roll off here, and it might even come down on a little bit of a lip, bend it a bit, so that way it really rolls off and doesn't go back in. Same on the back side here. I'm going to have it come out and then straight across, and then this area can really be for sealing. Now that I let it dry out, really there's not too much water damage in here anymore. I think it's a lot nicer than what it was. There's a little bit of discoloration on the corners, but with the 40-degree heat we had, Celsius, it dried everything out. A little bit on the edges here, but we'll figure that out. Might just put an aluminum lip here and then figure out how to do this. I'm going to shave off a little bit here and a little bit here because this is just too tight. I'm not a woodworker, so all my tolerances are a little bit tight. But yeah, we're going to get started on doing this. It's going to be sweet. I think we're going to start with taking off all the aluminum trim. I'm going to start on this side first, mostly because it's the least amount of stuff I have to move around. So that way I can figure it out, and then I can go to the other side. Because I really only have to cut a hole for the window. This side I got to cut a hole for a window and a door, drill a hole for light. It's a little bit more work. Then on this side I got to drill a hole for this. Probably just bend a new piece of tubing, put it in. Yeah, it's gonna be sweet. Let's get started. Battery died there. I undid the hinges here and I undid the mount for the shock. Took the lid off and then proceeded to try and take all the dry rot out of here. I got most of it. There's still a little bit here and there, but I could put wood filler in now and kind of fix this up. I'm gonna wood fill all this, sand it down, and then the aluminum go on top. So we're gonna continue taking off the other side aluminum and keep going from here. But now that there's no more moisture because of the heat we've had, it should be good. Let's continue taking off this side. prepped the sides here. I took the paint off and any reflectors. I ground down this smooth because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a piece of 3/4 inch angle iron and put it all along the edge so that way the aluminum is something to sit on. Because as you can see, there's a lip here from the plywood and it's not quite even here. And I think that'll make it look really nice because this is 3/8 plus 080. The angle iron will stick out just a little bit, but I'm not too concerned, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I took the tires off, ground both sides. What we're gonna do now is cut our angle iron to length. 45 it. I'm gonna put it on the front as well and weld it on. So let's get to it. Well, that concludes it for this part of the build. As you can see, aluminum's ready. I've marked it out. Gotta cut it, but that's the next episode. I went and mounted on my angle iron, went along it and made sure it is as straight as possible. So that way I have at least somewhere square to start because this front is not square. That's pretty square, but this isn't square. So, got one mounted on this side and one mounted on this side. So that way, when everything's gonna be said and done, all you're gonna see is some welds on the bottom. You're not gonna see gaps like this and so on. So, yeah, it's siliconed already from before behind. So I shouldn't really worry about too much water getting in. I'm still probably gonna seal it up after the aluminum's on, but at least it covers everything up. This is flush here, so I'm not worried about this. So now we're ready for aluminum. The trailer is prepped, ready to go. Time to start cutting out aluminum.